There. Hello. How's everybody doing on this fine day? This was the remnants of the last time stream. Playing with it. Actually, had this patch in here. It's rare for me, but hey, time to tear it all down. All of our hard work completely down the drain. And that's okay. That's Hey, Steve. Hey, John. Shrieking. Hopscotch cables, taking them out and putting them away. I think that may be the first time I've ever actually used those. Trying to keep all like cables going. Said. And if you're curious what I'm talking about, it's one of these. Yeah, ditto. Tired. This is a Hopscotch cable. Focus, camera! Focus! Do it! Has the standard thing on one. And then the other end is actually jack. Plug. So essentially what you do is you're multiplying plug. You plug this in and one goes to someplace, and then you can plug another. Apply that out. So it's a sort of a different way of doing the stackable concept, which is one of these. Hijack, back thing. Pop another. It's gonna act on it. You know, and then you've got these goof called as 1 in and 5 outs, whatever. Again, this is something else I have and I've never used. So, yeah. Strange and wonderful ways to accentuate your modular cable. Oh no, we don't want the ring light. Ah! Yeah, I was looking for a cheap used turntable. Just have one in this room. Audio's dropping in. Shouldn't be. I have 0 dropped frames on the stream. You know what? It might be that I'm closer. I have a noise gate on my microphone. I'll bet you that's what it was. It's far enough away. Let's test it, shall we? Blah 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 blah. Ho ho ho. Yep. Sure enough. Sure enough. It was because I was too far away. I was so far away from. Yeah, the noise gate was triggering. The noise gate is so tricky. It needs a timeout. Anyways, yeah. Just looking for a turntable. Just had one in my room. Stopped by school, I grabbed my turntable, which I haven't literally used the entire time I've been teaching, which is... So I'm like, well, if it works, belt's going to be out. Sure enough. Got it. So, but belts are easy. Donald Trump go to prison? No, because it's America. And rich people don't fucking do that here. Really feel. Everything is gone. There we go. Okay. Fresh start. Way. Okay. It's official. Everything is put away. Oh. The question is what to do. I have nothing in mind for today. I had no things to try. I was tempted to, you know what I want to try? And this is going to be a silly little, just a real quick little experiment. But I was making a bass drum with a filter, essentially. And the Wasp filter was being weird, and I don't understand it. It was going all like... I modified this Wasp filter to make it a little bit more shrieky and annoying. And think, I'm not positive, think it is it's occasionally flaking out on me. Really weird. But the signal has always been weak, really, really low. So it's just yet another reason to dislike it. Truly replace it with something. I could use another filter in here, honestly. So that's something for the future. I was also thinking about getting a Biffaco kick-all, which is like it's not just a kick drum module, but it also does all kinds of things. It uses the same kind of like oscillation that an 808 does, so you could get some ridiculously fat kick drum sounds with it. But then that would, of course, prevent me from needing to use up a filter kick drum. So This is going to be a really simple little thing. 3 cables. Clock out to the dot. Rolling. R. Are down. Just kidding. So then we take output number 1. Trigger. Pass gate. Instead of actual filter. I don't think this is going to work. I didn't think actually. Now, what you could do in theory is you could put like a sine wave oscillator. I mean, sine wave is not even the best thing to use because it really doesn't have anything to filter, but that would just be put that into the yeah. Wait, that's a sine wave? Sound like a interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, the symmetry was... Should never listen to you. Artwork doesn't know what it's talking about. So, okay, I'm getting a nice ear massage. So then, of course, you can tune it. So I could just use a kick drum and just make a pure sine wave and run it through a low pass gate. That's sort of like another option, which is, you know, it's not bad. It's got a lot of bass to it, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know what frequency it's at right now. It's probably at about 45 hertz or something like that. Just a straight sine wave. Now, if we put a different type of wave through it. Sawtooth. Triangle. So, I mean, anyways, that's my quick little experiment, like I said. Experiment. So that's a good thing to know for the future. The future. Let's do a thing. Let's slow shit down. Still. Hey, Front 242 man, what's going on? Let's see here. First of all, let's use the data as clock again. That worked. Oh, data as clock is also fun to say. Data as clock. Too bad this cable doesn't actually reach where I want it to reach. Bastard. Richard Devines. Yes, I have. Also, Hans Zimmer deserves some special mention. Reason 12. Good question. I haven't tried it yet. Not out yet. Till I don't even. What is the official release day of Reason? I did not get an opportunity to beta test it because the beta test was not open to people who had Reason 11 Suite. which doesn't make any sense to me. Because, like, wouldn't the core program be the same? Like, you're going to change some stuff. You're going to change the graphics. You're going to change a few things. But why would one, for like, I spend more money to get all of the features? No, you do not get to participate. You'd think it'd be the opposite. But it's just weird. Like, I don't understand it. Maybe they just didn't have... Yeah, new sampler, that'll be interesting. I mean, I'm most interested in the graphics updates. I don't know if it could use some sequencer improvements, probably, you know, that kind of thing. I know some people have been bitching about, like, video and... Yeah, well, there's different versions of Reason 11. That's the thing. Reason 11, like, standard is, like, the one that most people use. Reason 11 Suite was, like, the more expensive one with boys. It had more devices and things, and I'd always like to get those. So I have Suite. And I don't know yet. I'm not gonna upgrade until I watch some videos and I see it in action. Even though I'm usually the one doing that, this is the time that I'm gonna either make the decision to start learning Bitwig and port everything over, which would be a fucking shame because I mean it's taken me years to be as good at Reason as I am, and I make no bones about it. I'm pretty good at it. It's not like that'll happen when you work on one particular DAW for like I've since version like 2.0. You know, it's been a decade plus of using it. So, and even before then, it was like Rebirth. I think I had a pirated copy, and I loved it. Okay, so what are we gonna do here? I don't know. I still don't know. Let's maybe get some interesting like drum things going, or strange percussion noise. So I've already got the clock going to the dot sequencer here, which is a fun little toy. This was a great purchase, by the way. This little guy camera, the guy with the little cascading, little falling centipede looking things. Yeah, that is a 3-track Euclidean trigger sequencer. So, like, here, Euclidean basically says, you got 16 steps, here, let's turn it to 1. Where's that 1 gonna... There, it's at the beginning. And if 2, then it evenly spaces it out amongst the 16 steps. 4, 5, 6, and then so on, all the way up until full. But then you can shift the pattern, shorten it. It's really interesting. So you can shift the entire pattern along its matrix. Or you can actually use it as like sort of a standard programmable XOX style. Yeah, that the Bitwig stuff with the grid is really exciting. But there's something about Reason. I know what it is. It's the fact is that I grew up on hardware. Sorry, I'm like dehydrated. I'm drinking. All that happened was I got wet. I haven't drank enough since I was disc golfing. Yeah, so like the fact that Reason has cables and you can flip the rack over stuff with it like that I think is what appeals to me. It just makes sense. Now I know people who think the exact opposite. Who I hate that stuff. I can't deal with it. So, to each his own. The grid doesn't really do that. It's not as like plug and playable. It's close. I think it's just an interface that I have to get used to personally. So, what can we do here? Well, I'll tell you, one thing we can do is can run clock all. Let's run a clock to the Turing. Like Turing machine go. I could run a clock to, well, to all kinds of stuff, but let's do stuff as chirping away. Probably saying something horrible right now. Let's see what the radio music is saying.
An example?
Please give us an example.
Well, there are literally hundreds of examples.
And
Do you have something to, a bun, a sandwich, maybe an orange? I haven't had anything to eat in 5 days.
Nothing to eat in 5
I only make $35 a week. Can you live on $35 a week these days?
Well, let's see what we can find. Eddie, would you please? Oh, thanks, Eddie. And now, Ralph Nader, I'd like to get back to
the good old days. You can't go back. You know, the movies have been criminal about this, about fostering the idea that the good old days were better than right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on in there, but I like it. Can you exist on $35 a week? $5 a day? You could probably live on that. It's just food. I mean, that's all. You're not paying for anything else, but you probably eat 35. Beans and rice. Lots and lots of beans and rice. Let's see here. You know what would be kind of fun to do? Try something. Let's try using the dot to trigger the spectral multiband resonator. This will do the evens and the odds on the different trigger. The happiest looking visual information. It's just so happy looking. It's one of the things that I have potentially slated. Just don't use it. Okay, so here's what we do. We're going to reset both of these channels to 1 each. All right, so now what we should be able to do is turn each of these to a different length. So if I did, like, let's say I put two hits, I'll put 3 in this one. But then I'm going to lengthen or shorten the pattern. It's funny. It's a 7-beat cycle. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of neat. Then, of course, we find a scale. Some of these are really... like it clustered like actually really. Hey man, for like a summer, I think all I ate was like ramen noodles and Cheerio. And we liked it. No, I didn't like it. Just kidding. All right, let's run this through an attenuator. And then I remember at one time I didn't have any milk, but I had a roommate that had left this giant thing of Swiss Miss hot cocoa mix. And I ended up taking it with me into my summer sublet that I was staying at. I was taking summer classes at college. And I was like, well, I don't have any milk. What the hell am I going to do? I was like, oh, I got hot cocoa mix. So I basically mixed up like giant pots of hot cocoa mix and then just let it cool and threw it in the fridge. And then that was my milk. So I would have Cheerios made with cooled down hot cocoa mix, which essentially turns it into like cocoa Cheerios, which was pretty good, I have to say, because, you know, that stuff's all powdered milk. But yeah, that was the lowest of the low, and I was like, damn, it's kind of miserable. Okay, so it's steadily, very, very slowly, occasionally rotating just a little. Yeah, man. Think life is hard. Start reading stories from or two. Okay, so what can we add to this? The only problem is oh, you know what? This is going to be a problem if I want to actually put drums. I'm going to have to use something else. We can do. Oh! So what we can do is we can run a clock signal to the tempi. Reach. Not really. So we'll run a clock signal to the tempi, and then we'll use 2 channels of the tempi to set all these bad boys here. And then the nice thing is I can just use a couple of shorty cables for that too. So we'll just run channel 1 and channel 2 to these guys here. Doink. So we'll do this one like 2, 3, 4. There's also a documentary on Netflix about fungus. And definitely watch that. It's called What's always kind of been a little bit of a trip about this particular module is that it's just that sound. That's it. Now, you can do some stuff with it, like, for example, and that waveform. Take those sine waves. And lightly fold them. Oh God, what kind of demon spawn did you create? Yeah, so let's not do that. Let us never speak of that. Too late. There we go. Yeah, that wave folder is just, it's evil and satanic. Is sounds like A flat or a C minor 6 chord. So, Turing machine out to quantizer, quantizer to oscillator. Guy, put that guy away. Ooh, get you go away. Give them. And this is a stereo, which is nice. I have one stereo just to get another. That was lovely. Ah! Okay, wait. Actually, I think I just got it. Just kidding. There it is. One of the few times that I've gotten a really enjoyable sound of the oscillator. I usually don't. I usually find it just sounds the same. I really like that. Kind of like, I want to just manipulate this thing for a little while, put a bunch of modulation on it and stuff, and let it go nuts. So let's do that. Not sure if these moderately linked tables could just use the quadracs. That's useful. So, oh, jeez, what? So balance is an interesting one. Do a really slow balance shift here. This slow LFO. Oh, that's intense. Pardon me, I must borrow your signal. Yeah, we're going to run that through VCA. Let's use the first 2 channels of the quad VCA because that's what it is designed for. Boom. Which is super, super nice. And for VCA, because people get a little bit nuts with the VCAs thing. You've only got 6 VCAs? The fuck's wrong with you? Get out. There's a lot of things that can act as VCAs, though. So, low-pass gate can act like a VCA. VCA, well, acts like a VCA. Even a filter, you can VCA. You can, you know, have things changing. Got this function generator that can act VCA. It's essentially an input. So you use it to process signals and things. There's so many options. So let's see here. So we're going to go a thing. How are we going to do this? Oh, well, we need 2 things. We need pulse channel from the Turing machine to trigger envelopes. We've quadrax. We've got this ADSR. Let's use this ADSR here. It's already getting really crowded in part, which is unfortunate. It's something designing system stuff to things like, see, this is one of the CA. A lot of people each other. Okay, so you're going to have potentially 8 to 10 cables going into each unit. That seems crowded to me. Same area. All of the cable. All of them. Anyways, we're going to do this guy. Here. Stiff. That's what she said. Aha, aha. There we go. Yeah. So what's cool about this is like this has like the CV from one of these will cascade through all of these if you want. So I can turn this, it'll CV affecting this as well. All coming from the same source. So you've got one envelope affecting two stereo channels, which is very nice. Our envelope is here, of course. course. This calls for another clock signal. Run that all the way here to the metropolis. And external clock. You know what? Let's actually use the vector. I never use the vector because, well, obviously I'm an idiot. Okay, I mean. Yeah, so there's that. Also, let's before I start that sequence thing, I'm gonna do kind of a slow-moving part. I'm gonna do the bass drum thing that I had before. So we're gonna go like, let's go under these cables. Under the cables. Under the cables. It's too darn crowded. We can't put. I got nothing. Sorry. So, let's see. Kick drum. I'm gonna be found dead here in the future. I'll be so tangled in my cables and my modular that I won't be able to. I'll just be like caught on here and I'll be trying to move it and the whole thing will fall over on me and I'll be knocked unconscious and found 5 days later, just a pile of rotting goo. It could happen. Let's look at the vector here. Let's do something interesting with it. Let's get that stuff. Chill. Chill. So, beverage. Also, vape break. While I'm doing that, though, let's go global. Sync. External. C24? The clock. Yeah, of course the clock is running. 84, this is hitting it. This is fluctuating. So where we could put this in C minor and have it be all like A stuff. So we should do that. So it's going to be all like C3, and then let's do B flat 2, And let's do A flat to, let's do E flat. We're going to make this literally 4 steps long. And we're going to put a whole bunch of like chants on this so that it just fluctuates from note to note without any real anything. Okay. But we need it to actually do something. So let's go to 2 places here. Let's go to 2 places. Place number 1. Pitch out. Burp. I don't. Let's go into the CSL. Let's tune the CSL. So like C. Oh, of course, if I sync off. Okay, it's on C4, now about the other. Because there's 2, this is basically 2 oscillators in one. It's on B2, so it's actually C3, which means they actual sound. There. So pitch can go. Link the 2 1-volt per octave. Such. So now if we hit run. Okay. Sequence control. So what I want to do is to have action sequence. Chance probabilities, nothing. But I really need this global here. I want this. The length of this should only be 4. There. Now the rate. 4 whole steps for each one. Whole steps for each one. Make the length 5 and add a low to the C, the C2 down. Okay, there it is. Okay, so then chance operations. What you can do is go through these and like on each step you can say, hey, for this step you have a chance to not play, to reverse direction, to skip to the next step, to skip to the end of a sequence, to play something louder, and so on and so on and so on. So there's all sorts of different things that can happen here, which is really you can specify probability percentages for each of those. So probability, we just turn it up a little tiny, about 25%. And there's a chance that it'll either ratchet on one step. So there's our super, super low note. Okay. Well, now we can take a gate out and we can do some stuff. So let's take a gate out and let's run it into the Zadar. Channel 1. Channel A. Use that, and it's like... shape kind of a thing. Change the shape here. More of a swell. It's very, very slow. I'd like it to be longer than that. Thanks. Okay. And then that can go into what? We can run this into a filter, actually. Let's, will this chord reach? No. Story of my life. I'm gonna, like, rage and go spend a whole bunch of money. Cables. So the cool thing is now we can actually blend outputs into that filter. So let's do the sub first of all. No, of course not. Why would it reach? Actually take actually like to have slow thing. Take pulse width. wish Suit and Tie Guy made Mankato filter in a smaller form factor. So many elements, just like that silky smooth. Give me that 24 dB sound, that fat knob. It's so nice. It's just it's such a good knob. Such a fun word. isolate this.
No revelation of God in his message. I knew something was wrong. Come to find out now, he's desecrated his ministry and disqualified himself, left his wife and family, married, got kids, got grandchildren, all those years living out of a suitcase, going across this country. Now he's thrown it all away. On what Brother Allen called the last leg of his journey. He just dumped it all away and ruined his influence and ruined his testimony and ruined his opportunity to do something great for God in the last days of his ministry. Man, I went home when I heard
But I don't want that to constantly be. It's just too fucking weird.
Be run over by a tractor trailer tonight, then to leave here in shame and disgrace what God has done for me. I say to you, I want to.
Okay, so let's do something. Let's take another clock output from Tempe and run into the trigger in Behringer sequencer here.
Desecrated his ministry and disqualified himself, left his wife.
Now, theoretically, I should be able to use this output as a gate control sound.
Brother Allen called the last leg of his journey. He just dumped it all away and ruined his influence.
Let's get the effects out of it.
Ruined his opportunity to do something great for God in the last days of his ministry. Man, I went home when I heard about it and I wept and I told my wife, I'd rather die in the pulpit tonight, Brother Franklin, than to quit on God and bring a reproach on the Savior. I'd rather crawl out of here like a snake on my belly and be run over by a tractor trailer tonight than to leave here in shame and disgrace what God has done for me. I say to you, I want to pass right.
See, that's not working. Thought it would
When he preached it was so dead you couldn't find God in that place with the FBI. No power, no anointing, no revelation of God in his message.
It's the CV, but it doesn't work. Good, however. The easy fix would be run this through a VCA. Bring the sequencer output into the level control channel, VCA. That way we can just make it pop up every once in a while, which is the effect. So like this can all be sudden it hits like,
Crawl out of here like a snake on my belly and be run over by a tractor.
and then it's gone, right? Which is nice.
I want to finish right. I want to finish right.
Turn up a little bit. Slew as well.
No anointing, no revelation of God in
So it
his
doesn't
message.
pop. It's nice.
Left his wife and family, married, got kids, got grandchildren.
Boost that just a little. Goes.
Brother Allen called the last leg of his journey and just dumped it all away and ruined it.
Okay. So, semi-performance time here.
than to quit on God and bring a reproach on the saints.
And I still have the SMR. Ah, that was enjoyable. That was a lot of fun. Glad you joined me. Try to, of course, you know, hey, I am having computer issues though. As I was getting set up today, it didn't shut off. I think the video card is dying. And it's not like a heat thing. I think it's literally maybe either the main board of or just the video. Lost connection with the video card. So, yeah, I'm having issues. Frankly, I need to upgrade this thing anyways. It's pretty low on my priorities list right now. So, just glad I got the stream today. Yeah, the sub bass, man, that's the CSL, and that thing is capable because it's got two cores or two oscillators, but each oscillator has like 5 or 6 outputs, and you can have one of them as a -1 or 2 octave sub. Plus, I have the pulse width on the top one and the sawtooth wave. I've got the pulse width being modulated by a slow LFO. So it's just the grindy sound. But then going through the Mankato is like, this thing is just sexy. Hey, how come you're not playing? Oh, because I turned you off. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Naughty. That's what it's all about.